Hello there, good afternoon to you. Mark Suttoth, HurricaneTrack.com here in Wilmington, North Carolina. It is Friday now, finally Friday, the 27th of October 2023, the last weekend of the month. Wednesday begins November. That's hard to believe. Where did the year go? But we do have the weekend in front of us. Tammy is back. We got an area to watch in the southwestern and central areas of the Caribbean. And then, of course, we have a system in the eastern Pacific that we need to watch, but nothing that seems to be too pressing in terms of major impacts over the next few days. And in the wake of Otis and what happened with that rapidly intensifying system, I think we're going to be a little bit more on alert with these things, especially down in the deep tropics, than perhaps we would usually be. But as I go through things, I'll show you, present the case that it doesn't look like we're going to have to deal with anything too serious in the coming days. So we'll start at the Hurricane Center website. Here's our system in the Caribbean Sea. 30% chance of additional development over the next few days. If we expand this graphic out to the next 7 days, this is the likely formation and track area. It's a broad area of low pressure down here. I'll show you on satellite in just a minute. Meanwhile, Tammy is back. It's a label. Tropical storm again. The frontal effects are gone mostly. So it's purely tropical classification, whatever. Talked about that yesterday. It's still a big wind machine and a wave maker, some rain with it, deeper convection trying to wrap in. I'll show you that too on the satellite close up in just a little bit. Meanwhile, in the East Pac, a couple areas to watch. This will not amount to anything. Very, very, very confident of that. You know, I said the same thing when Otis and its precursor was sitting down here. I didn't think it was going to do much. The modeling sure didn't either. So it's going to be a little bit of like, okay, got to be careful saying that these days now, right? Then this system, 92E, has a really good chance at developing into a depression. It's a small system, so we saw with Otis, these small systems can be quick to ramp up. Will this do that? Time will tell. There it is right there, small system, well on its way to becoming a tropical depression. That other feature sitting out here, it's far from land anyway, so that's good news. Then our broad area of low pressure in the Caribbean, not to worry too much about that. And then there's Tammy up there, sitting in the areas, the waters east of Bermuda. Some northeasterly winds here impacting Bermuda. Cloudy day, maybe a little bit of rain shower activity. But again, nothing too pressing and worrisome as we progress into the weekend. By the way, we are going to talk about Colorado here at the end of today's update. Going to get some snow, it looks like, in Denver. Very changeable there. You want to go to a place that has wild weather. The Denver area of Colorado along the Front Range, an amazing environment for storms and all kinds of stuff, and they're going to get a good taste of that again this weekend. All right, looking at 92E in the eastern Pacific, definitely some deeper convection bubbling up, trying to get itself organized. The modeling, not too impressive overall. We'll go back to it if we can. If we look at the guidance here, there is a little bit of an indication from one of the models that it could become a hurricane, over the next few days. But all the rest of the guidance, tropical storm. But we saw that before with Otis. So we will be looking for the clues in the couple of days ahead. Will this system try to overperform like Otis did? Not everything's the same. We know that. No two storms are the same. The environment probably not that conducive, especially when you've got such a consensus here from all the guidance that we're going to barely make tropical storm intensity. Hopefully, that will be the case, and we won't have any surprises like we did just a few days ago. Seeing the effects of that system, wow. All right, so east of Bermuda here, we have Tammy. Deeper thunderstorms trying to wrap in there. You see the shallower convection gave way to deeper thunderstorms. How do we know that? Those bright reds and oranges that are popping up, that indicates colder cloud tops in the atmosphere. And you only get that if the clouds are going high into the atmosphere where the air temperatures are colder. No deep convection anywhere near Bermuda over here, but again, some lower clouds, maybe a few rain showers, breezy conditions out that way. Probably a kind of a raw day and waves splashing on the bulkheads and whatnot there. But otherwise, not a big problem at all. Already looked at this. Let's move along to the GFS. Here are our players. There would be Tammy. And again, it separated itself from the front. Now it's purely tropical again. And again, that's just a classification. that we humans label these things with. I talked about that yesterday, so we won't rehash that. Down here in the Caribbean, we do have a broad area of low pressure. Follow the wind barbs, and if you see that close enough, yeah, they are counterclockwise, so there is a broad turning down there, a gyre, I guess, sort of. It's pretty large. And then you've got our area 92E sitting over here in the extreme southeastern Pacific. So if we move this out over the next few days, our system in the Caribbean does try to consolidate a little bit there. So chances might go up a little bit. Jamaica, you could get some heavy rain, possibly parts of western Cuba, or eastern Cuba, and western, hang on, I got a spam call. I hate those. Eastern Cuba, western parts of the Hispaniola. So we'll call it Haiti, right? You got to watch this, because this represents energy, and even though it doesn't look like much, it could still bring a lot of rain, and that can be problematic. We know that. We got to emphasize the impacts over, is it a hurricane or not, or whatever. You see all that energy starts to head up towards Jamaica, 72 hours out. So this is Monday, eastern Cuba by Tuesday, and then it just kind of dissipates, and we're going out to a week's time, still kind of stuck down here with this favorable cyclonic pattern in the lower levels, converging air, that kind of thing, the air piling up, disturbed weather, whatever you want to call it. So we're just going to have to see, does something consolidate out of this pattern and take advantage at the low levels of a favorable upper level pattern? We talked about this yesterday. Strong upper level winds to the north, but down here in the Caribbean, a generally favorable pattern at the upper levels if something tries to take advantage down below. Looking at the euro, and refresh this. I think we got it out as far as we need it to on the 3-hour increments. There's Tammy right there, easy to spot. And it moves on out of the picture. Euro also developing some additional energy down here. Anytime you see these yellows in here, that is energy. That's the vorticity signature down below. The energy trying to consolidate another little piece up here. And then there's 92E. So there are disturbances, and while they are not solid and like threatening looking, rain is a hazard. We got to make sure we emphasize that, especially mountainous areas like Jamaica. Yes, they have mountains there. Certainly Haiti does, eastern Cuba. Anyway, this is 108, 120 hours. There's our 92E in the East Pac. No real indications in the modeling that it would do too much, but everything just kind of loiters down there over the next week. And look, the GFS and the euro in pretty good agreement of just broad low pressure, like a big gyre sitting down there in the Caribbean Sea as we get into the first part of November. All right, wrapping things up, nice tweet here from my friend Taylor. He's out in Colorado now. He used to be down at the Hurricane Center with the Storm Surge unit, and he's mentioning this interesting snowfall event setting up for the Front Range Denver metro area. Global models have been suggesting a narrow, banded snowfall event, which are notoriously difficult to predict. You guys could get maybe a foot. Some of the modeling spitting that out. We're really paying attention to right through here. I've been up there 2020. In the height of the pandemic, I flew up there in September when it went from like 100 degrees on one day to the mid-30s the next, snow up in the Front Range area. It was remarkable. Smoke in the sky from wildfires, and then we had snow the next day. And then to the southeast, yes, some heavier rains down here, but the frozen stuff, potentially, yeah, winter's coming, and we will cover that. We're not there yet, but here at HurricaneTrack, we have branched out to cover all kinds of impactful weather events beyond hurricanes, but we're still in hurricane season very much, as you can see from today's thumbnail and title card graphic. We'll watch these systems, but again, nothing too concerning. So you know what? Do like I'm going to do. Enjoy your weekend. I'm going to do stuff with the kids. We got all kinds of soccer and birthday parties, and as a dad, yeah, it's always busy around here, especially on the weekends and especially in the fall. So I'll be back on Monday. No updates unless we need something, of urgency tomorrow and Sunday, and otherwise I'll see you all again on Monday. All right, have a great weekend ahead. Enjoy the last weekend of October. As always, we here at HurricaneTrack appreciate you tuning in. Good to have you with me. I'll talk to you again on Monday.